It's not bad. I like a long distance relationship, especially starting out. Because sometimes you just get,
you get too into it too fast.
You do.
I get it.
You do.
Or it's like they're already annoying you. Like I feel you don't want to see each other every day.
right. Yeah, I don't. It's like
every 2 to 5 business days is good for me.
I love it. Yeah. I like a little bit of like just like we have our own time because it's so easy
to fall. Yeah, and then you don't want to be that couple that no one ever sees.
Right.
For 8
you
months.
fall into a rut.
Yeah.
So do you feel like the long distance allows for there to be a little mystery in the relationship?
I think so.
Yeah.
And maybe I should put the camera on me while I'm talking about this. So people are like, who is this? What is she talking about?
So introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, I'm Raina. Hi, I'm hosting today for the Mike and the Machine with Boudreaux and Cortney Warner.
Oh.
Craig Boudreaux. I don't know. I just call you Boudreaux. He's just Boudreaux.
Just Boudreaux.
Like Beyonce.
Yeah, that's the one name. Oh, you're at that level now. I've always wanted that because I like my last name Warner, like Warner Brothers. But I tell people at the bar who can't hear, and I've never been called Warner. In my head, when I talk to myself, I call myself Warner. But usually I'm just Cortney because there aren't a ton of Cortneys floating around, So, but yeah, I love that. So
I like the name Cortney.
Thank you.
I think it's a good one.
Thank you. I'm partial to it. I guess I don't know anything different.
Do you have a middle name? What's your middle name?
Yeah, Maylin.
Maylin.
So
that's pretty too.
Thank you. It's my mom and my grandma's middle names put together. So.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it's
I
all
love that.
very sentimental. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I like that. I was named after a man named Ray, so yours is poetic.
Yeah. So Raina, do you have a middle name?
Cheyenne. Oh, thank you. It's the trashiest of the names.
Raina Cheyenne. Well, okay, when you put it that way.
Raina Cheyenne.
That's the stripper portion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and boy, do I live up to it.
Raina Cheyenne. That's like an episode of Reba or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One of those kids would have been called Raina Cheyenne, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. A single mom who works too hard.
Yeah, loves her kids and never stops.
Yes.
Gentle hand. I know the whole song. That was my shit when I was younger. That was on ABC Family. I'd watch that or WB or whatever. It was on all the time.
I love that. And I saw that you're a musician.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I used to play. That's why I moved here to Nashville. I wanted to be a musician.
Just to do Reba covers? Or?
Yeah, pretty much though. My calling. Oh, what I would give to meet Reba though. You know what I mean? Her and Dolly. Would love to meet them both.
Oh my gosh, yes. Saints, both of them.
Honestly, that would be super cool. I think I haven't been starstruck by too many people, doing comedy, you meet people who come through.
Right.
And perform.
Especially in Nashville.
Oh yeah, there's people that coming through all the time and music and all that stuff, but I don't really get per se starstruck, but I think if I met Dolly or Reba, I would be like, oh, I think I would pass out. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I would just be like, I would probably just bow. I'd probably get on my knees.
No word, just bow.
And I'd be like, I'm not worthy.
Oh shit. Yeah, see, there goes that ass again.
Perfect. There goes that ass.
It's just wilding out. I can't control it.
I love that.
I saw a meme on Instagram that was I wish my ass got fatter every time a man made me mad, and I reposted it saying I'd be like that character from the Robots movie, the giant. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, but robot with a giant ass. That
yeah. At the very end, they're doing the swing, and she's knocking everybody over.
I would be because I wouldn't be able to get through any door frame if my ass got big every time a man made me angry.
No kidding. That's so funny. When I get plastic surgery money, dude, it's over.
Oh, me too. Oh, yeah, game over for you bitches. Yeah.
Okay, so if you had hit the lottery or you went famous today and you had all the money, where are you spending it? What's going on?
With the plastic surgery.
Or not just plastic surgery, but you could do plastic surgery.
Yeah, I think if I ever won the lottery, I would definitely probably buy a Birkin bag. I mean, let's just go with that. Let's just be honest. I'd probably do that, and then I'll also probably try and pay off my debt too. That probably.
You're like, I I just want to pay off my debt.
Yeah.
What a humble student.
I know, right, exactly.
You're like,
and then I'd probably get like a nose job.
oh, I love your nose.
Oh, I think
your nose is so cute.
My nose is like shapeshifty. Like when I smile, it spreads out. I like one that would just like stay still. You know what I mean?
Well, they're supposed to move with your face, love.
Really? I see like fucking Natalie Portman and shit. Her nose just like stays like right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she has a steel rod in hers.
Yeah, that's probably why.
No, I'm kidding.
She's had too many surgeries.
She's had too many.
No, I love your nose, but if you want a nose job, babe, get a nose job.
Maybe some buckle, maybe slight buckle fat removal. I think too.
Would you call it buckle fat?
The buckle fat, like where they take out like the
in the cheeks. Oh, that's what I need, dude. I'm just like,
you know, like
suck it up like
right,
here.
yeah, right.
So I saw a thing on TikTok where a girl was putting a bottle cap into her mouth.
Yeah.
And then like creating a suction, and she
we're both doing it.
and she made dimples.
Whoa!
Like she did it over time, and it made dimples.
That's crazy.
Oh, there was a study shown that kids who eat popsicles, have dimples, or like are more likely to have dimples.
That makes sense.
Because the cold. I don't know.
I wonder if even with the pacifier, because you're sucking on it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I was on a pacifier baby. My mom thought that like it would get stuck to the roof of my mouth or some shit.
Oh, so. Yeah.
So, but I ate popsicles, definitely. But whenever I get like allergies or get sick, I always just go and get some popsicles, you know?
Right.
They're solid.
I just got over being sick last weekend, like the week before last, and popsicles are the secret.
They are.
They'll heal you. You don't even need a doctor if you have popsicles.
Honestly, no. Don't even. You have strep throat. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It won't turn into scarlet fever if you have a popsicle. You know what I
mean? You don't even really need to go to the doctor to get your tonsils removed.
No,
you can just eat enough popsicles until
they'll freeze off like a wart. You know what I mean?
So I used to have them.
They're gone. So, Randa, with lottery money, what would you buy?
Probably buy a new face for sure. I would do maybe just some lip injections, just a little subtle. Don't want to go crazy.
Right, yeah, no Kylie Jenner over here.
Yeah, probably get those really nice hair extensions, make my hair all thick and full.
Yes.
Probably do that cheek thing you were talking about. Yeah. I want that. Yeah.
I don't know, but then listen.
Big juicy. Actually, here's the thing.
Big juicy. Actually,
big juicy. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Well, I want a big butt.
Yeah.
But I feel like surgery butts they don't look as good.
The BBLs are risky for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the way the BBLs work is I know this because I've actually had elective surgery before.
Really?
I've had a tuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've had a little nip tuck.
Nice, like the TV show.
Right. And I asked about the BBL. I was like, hey, I need to know. Yeah. And they were like, well, the thing is the way your body everybody metabolizes fat differently. Mm-hmm. And if your butt metabolizes fat, your BBL just won't last very long.
Whoa.
And I was like, well, it would just be a waste of money. I would just have to do it every year,
Yeah, oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Because the people that put the implants in, sometimes the implants flip over.
I saw that.
Or they fall. I've seen ones where the butt injection just falls down to the back of their leg.
The back of the leg. Oh, that's tough.
Crazy.
That would suck.
It looks painful. It just doesn't look comfortable.
No. And then how are you supposed to sit or sleep? You can't. You have to sit on those little toilet seat pillows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sit on those for a year. Or
you broke your butt bone or whatever.
Right.
Oh man.
I don't know. I think that's the whole conspiracy theory with celebrities where they said they get in a car accident. I think they do that on purpose so they can go get surgery done.
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh yeah, are you talking about Zac Efron?
Yeah.
Because, I said the same thing.
I think he totally is getting some work done because he had to drown he almost drowned in a pool or something, and I'm like. You're super in shape. How the fuck did you drown? How did Zac Efron almost drown in the pool?
Yeah, dude.
He was in Baywatch, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean?
He's like, I'm just so muscular, I sink.
I
know. These cheekbones are so heavy,
They're so heavy. I go down face first.
Yeah. No, there's something about a car wreck and he came out and he had been
he'd been done.
Done.
He had such a perfect face. He didn't have to do anything.
I know. And you have a perfect face.
Well,
you don't have to do anything to
it.
Thank
you. You too, right?
It's fun to fantasize about what we would look like with all this money, but also you're perfect.
Oh, well, thank you.
Your cheeks are perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Both sets.
Both sets. Oh my God.
Brain is obsessed.
So you know how Timothy Chalamet is dating Kylie Jenner? Have you seen that?
I have heard.
The day that news broke, I had like 30 people send me that article. And I'm like, I fucking get it. Okay, I understand. I saw it.
I get it. Okay.
I watched the Golden Globes too. I get it. But like, I always think that it gives me hope that if I had enough money, I could be Timothy's type. I mean, she is stunning, but it's not like not homemade, but like, you know what I mean? Kudos to her. She figured it out. She got her bag. She got her man, you know?
I think I support you in that endeavor, dude.
Thank
like,
you.
let's raise money for you to get your man. What's his name again?
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet. Yeah, when I said you were like, yeah, I heard about it. I was like, I'm lying. Why am I lying?
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. No, most people aren't as invested as I
I can't remember celebrity names.
That's fair.
I'm just like, why bother when I'm a celebrity?
Right,
already?
honestly. They don't know my name, so why should I know their name?
Right. So you're a musician.
Yes.
And also a comedian.
Yes.
And 1,000 other amazing things.
Oh, thank you.
So, as you started in music, right?
Yeah, I started in music.
And how long have you been a musician for?
Well, I don't play as much anymore. Like, it's funny that we bring this up because I've been thinking about getting back into it, just in the context of I want to do a one-woman show next year, and I'd want to incorporate music, and like I also paint and do photography, like with the I want to incorporate some of that into the live show. So I am like thinking about getting back into it. I started playing music when I was like 14, 15, and then played pretty steadily until I was like in my like early 20s, like 22, 23, so almost like a decade. And moved here to be a musician like after college. I wanted to be I wanted to be a session musician. I didn't want to be an artist. I wanted to play Reba covers. Basically, and play for other people, and that was my whole goal. Did that in college. I would come here in the summertime on summer break and like visit and like try and meet people and all that shit. And when I finally moved here, I played for some of my friends, played music with some friends, and I'm like, oh, I actually don't like this. I actually don't enjoy it enough to like work a day job and then go out at night. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I quit doing that, and I was kind of like, I felt like I was at a loss at like the age of 22. I'm like, my life is over. You know what I mean? No,
yeah.
like, I wasn't a Disney Channel star, so like, what am I going to do?
Exactly.
I wasn't a Lizzie McGuire, so I can't.
Yeah, you're like, I'm too old. They won't take me.
They won't take me. No, I'm chewed up. The industry chewed me up and spit me out.
Dude, I'm 29 and I'm still struggling with that.
31, and I'm just like, well, I guess I had a good run. So I took a year off and just tried to figure out what I wanted to do, and then I was like, I liked all the things I liked about playing music were just things that I do in comedy. Like I liked that they gave me a backup microphone to sing into so I could talk into it. I hated loading in my gear in and out, so I'm like, I just wanted to be a comedian, I guess.
That's so funny how you found your love for comedy through. You're like, I didn't really need any of this.
No, I just did
me and an audience.
Yeah,
baby.
I just need them to know that I have funny thoughts. And so
yes, I love that. That's so cool.
Thank you.
It's crazy to me because it just seems like it would be common
Yeah.
for someone who started in music and then to pursue stand-up would like try to incorporate music with stand-up.
Right.
Did you ever do that?
A little bit when I started out. Like I definitely did the whole ukulele thing. It was also very popular at the time still too, like Garfunkel and Oates and all of them, and Dimitri Martin. They were all doing their very twee, cutesy comedy stuff. So I was like, I did that for a little bit. It just never really clicked because I was
never felt like yours.
Yeah, because I really new to comedy. I'm like, I just want to do stand up and make a good joke writer, and then maybe I'll down the line incorporate it because I didn't want to half-ass.
Right.
Either. So I did that for a little bit, but I ended up being like, I just want to do stand up. So
that's so cool.
And now I want to start incorporating that back in.
Well, that's cool because also you're talking about doing a one-man show, which that is so exciting.
Thank you.
I can't wait for that. I'm going to be there, dude.
Yay!
If I'm invited.
Yes, please come.
Yes, okay. Cool. I'll be there. So with a one-man show, you kind of get to see all these facets of yourself. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Are you going to incorporate anything else?
Well, I met with my buddy who I think he's going to direct it. I met with him yesterday because he had just did his own one-man show a few months ago. And I was like, I don't want to go up there and just do stand-up. I don't want it to seem like I'm doing stand-up. So I think I'm going to do like maybe a PowerPoint with some like family, like old photos of me as a kid, try and give some context, and then maybe open the show coming out playing guitar, and then at some point maybe like at an audience and like audience member and paint a portrait of them or like whatever. So I think just like try and incorporate all the things that I like to do, but I'll weave in a narrative because like my whole thesis statement, which is what my friend and I had to sit down and break down yesterday, was like you have to have a thesis statement. You have to have like a theme to like, and then like build your show around like the themes. It just is easier to have an arc that way. And I just want to be understood, which we all do as humans. But given like I have like a pretty different background, just like living in the South, being a person of color, like I want people to understand like that,
Yeah.
Because I feel like stand-up doesn't really, it gives me that to do some more like confessional stuff or diaristic stuff, but it's always like has to have a punchline.
Right, yeah, and it's not as deep. There aren't as many layers.
Yeah, and I can't risk being too earnest for the audience being like, oh, that's sad, but we paid to laugh.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Just laugh at it. We thought it was funny.
Yeah, right. Like I think it's pretty funny now, like we can all laugh collectively now, but this would give you more of a chance to be a little more free, creatively free that way. So that's
you
what
don't have to guard the emotion.
Right. I mean, like this is what happened. This is what I went through, in my formative years and as an adult and like whatever. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, is really digging into that. I'm sure it's going to be very hard because I'm used to having my guard up a little bit in comedy, and even riffing or whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm on. I have to have something funny to say, even if we're talking about something serious. But this will just be me letting it be a little more raw, which I'm looking forward to.
That's so cool. I can't wait. I'm probably gonna cry. I bet I cry.
I'm probably gonna cry too.
When is it? Do you have any dates set, or when are you
probably
planning?
I'd like to have a part of the Kindling Arts Festival in Nashville, which is usually in July. So I'll get a head start on it now. I had written a few drafts of it over the years, and it was too convoluted. And my friend Jack, who sat down with me, shout out to Jack Stell, by the way. He would be a good candidate for this podcast too.
Ooh.
He's covered in tattoos, and he can spin a yarn. That's for sure.
That's good.
He's a comedian too. He's great.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Jack. I'm sure he'll probably watch this. Honestly, it'd be nice to be part of something that's already built in, like a festival, like that. They're like a big performing arts festival that happens in Nashville every year, where they have musicals and one-person shows and dance, like interpretive dance shows and aerial dance.
Just
and all
arts, performance art, all of it.
Art the whole week. So I want to be part of that, hopefully. So that it'd just be easier to already have someone pick a venue for me and all that stuff.
That's amazing.
So hopefully July of next year will be the time. But
that's so cool.
Also, let me know if I'm moving around too much. I realize it's hard because you're animated too, and I'm like,
I know, and I'm trying to stay still. Actually, I feel like a dog.
I know, just trying to
I want to go.
It's like dogs. You know when dogs have their whole back to you, but they have their eyes just I'm like, why don't you just turn around and look at me? Why are you shaking your ass in my face and looking over the shoulder? I'm like, what are you doing?
They're like, look how happy I am.
I know, look at my tail, look at me. Or when they literally back their ass up to you. Pet this. It's
yes.
You little freak.
You little freak. Dude, my dog's wearing a diaper right now, so.
Is your dog on their period or something?
No, well, he just got fixed.
Oh, okay.
He just got fixed, and I couldn't find the cone, so I had to shove that on him before I left, and he was like, and I'm like, dude, you're fine.
Yeah, you'll live.
Quit being a baby.
Yeah.
It's cotton, okay?
Yeah, right. You'll chill. Just chill. I feel really stupid. I just learned that dogs have periods. Unfixed female dogs.
Right.
Bitches. No, sorry.
These bitches have periods.
You know that?
Exactly. It makes all the other boy dogs hormonal.
I know,
they get
crazy.
territorial and
stuff.
stuff.
They're like, oh, she's bleeding? Well, it must be mine.
Must be mine.
I don't know why I never knew that. I've lived on this earth 31 years. I think I'm an educated, smart person, but I did not know that dogs got periods like humans do.
Have you ever had dogs?
Yeah, we grew up with animals. My mom would
probably just get them fixed immediately.
Yeah, because we lived out in the country, and it would be so easy for them to run off and breed and stuff. And my mom's like, "Fuck no, we're not doing that."
Dogs actually sometimes kind of weirdly masturbate and come sometimes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I have
boy dogs.
Yeah, who just got fixed. So
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and
serial humpers.
Yeah, a little bit, and sometimes they would I actually recently wrote a joke about the whole stepping in dog cum. I was like, oh god, what is this? And then I googled it and I was like,
no, that's worse than dog shit. Actually,
I think it is.
I think it's worse.
I think it really is.
Oh my god! At least dog shit, we're used to that. We know what that is. But dog cum.
Dog cum. I'm like, you're my son.
Yeah, this is a violation. It's like, oh my god, walking on your son jerking off.
It's very much. I'm like, this is so alarming. I can't.
Oh my god, that's upsetting. Honestly, I just wonder. I don't think I could ever be a mom because I don't. For so many reasons, I don't want to be a mom. But also, I don't want to accidentally walk into my son jerking off. You know what I mean? We could never come back from that.
Yeah, no, that would be.
No.
Yeah.
It's quite easy.
Oh yeah, Boudreaux's a parent.
And you're also his lawyer, so you've been there.
I mean,
But even like just the knowledge of like, oh, they're doing it. It's fine.
They just had a reel hit my Instagram. This was no reflection on my algorithm.
Okay, well, I was like, well, this is about to go down the path.
I love the disclaimer.
It was on Fail Army. Like, so it was on Fail. But this kid, his parents and grandparents bust into his room, and legit, he's got his shorts at his feet, and everything's covered, but he's got a computer sitting in his lap and his shorts at his feet, and they're wishing him happy birthday.
He's like, will you leave? I was trying to have a happy birthday.
He's just looking around like, shit.
Happy birthday. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Poor kid. Forever.
I know.
Forever.
It's
Ever.
a scar that, like, the rest of his life.
And then they posted it online.
They put it online.
It's like, do you hate your son?
I would kill myself. I realize.
Unalive.
Unalive myself.
I don't know.
End it. I don't know. End the chapter. End the book. I don't know. What are good ways to say suicide? What are some cutesy ways?
Cutesy ways
Like,
to off myself.
I'm gonna pop the balloon.
Make out with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Or start a shotgun.
Yeah,
I've heard
suck
that
start a
one.
I don't know. Give a shotgun a blowjob.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Anytime, like one of the telemarketers reaches out to me on Facebook, whatever, and it's like, hey, we have how are you doing today? And it's like, well, haven't made out with a shotgun yet. The day's young. And then they always go, oh, that's awesome. Because it's just a bot.
That's
That's awesome. What's that leap? I'm going to Nashville and I'm gonna live my dream. What is that leap
I think
like?
I don't think it was as bad or like as hard for me because I think I've just always been kind of delusional. So I always thought it was gonna work out for me. And I think I was just so done living in a small like rural town. You know, like a lot of people I know that I grew up with still live in Ohio. Like a lot of them are nurses now, which usually isn't that how that goes? Like living in a small town, everyone becomes a nurse. You know, usually the bullies become
or a teacher or whatever.
A lot of therapists, a lot of people that like I'm like you bullied me as a child, but now you're like a nurse, so that's crazy to me. But okay, sure, whatever.
They give you a wedgie while they're giving you an IV.
Right,
or something.
exactly. Calling you a little bitch the whole time. Take these pills, you little bitch. Like they try and give you like a nurse bath, but they just give you they give you like a swirly instead. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah, that seems.
I'm sure they're doing great. Check out Cleveland Clinic. I'm sure that's where they're all working.
I'm actually bathing you with toilet water.
Yeah, exactly. It's like waterboarding you. You know what I mean? That never happened, by the way. Cleveland Clinic is a wonderful facility. It wasn't that hard of a jump. Like I found a roommate. I moved here, and then. I worked at Trader Joe's for like 7 years, which I talk about in my stand-up. That I don't mind being like, that was a rough time. That was just like, it was a job that paid enough at the time in 2015. I made $13 an hour, and that at the time was like a lot.
At the time, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. And like, 10 years ago, pretty good. And I had a roommate. I was able to like live and all that stuff, and I had health insurance and like, but like, as far as the job went, I did not enjoy it. I don't think working retail is for me. I don't think having to be nice to people who are in a rich community is for me at all. Stacking stuff. I mean, I didn't mind like the actual like physical labor of it, like stacking shelves or stocking things, or like I enjoyed kind of the organizing stuff. That was fun, but like the people aspect of it was a nightmare. I did that, and like I think it was just easy to be like, okay, well I have a day job here and I have friends here now, so I'll just stay here and figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And also like I'm complacent. I'll admit that's one part of my life that I am complacent in is that moving and day jobs. Like I'm just like, well, I guess this is the best I can do, so I guess I'll suffer for 7 years.
Yeah, well, it's like a lot of your energy is put forth everywhere, especially as an artist. You're like, well, this is fine because I just need time to get this on its feet, get this show ready, or this material or like music, whatever.
So yeah, I can just be like, oh well, I'll just do this and I'll go home and that's it. So I think I just like, get kind of complacent with that stuff, and I think, you know what I mean. So it didn't like oh, I'll move and I'll do this thing. It just didn't really cross my mind as anything major. It's just like a means to an end until I got what I wanted, I guess.
Yeah. Same. I totally hear you.
Yeah.
I get complacent in jobs all the time. I recently just had to get a new job because I was just so broke, right?
Yeah,
so I get you. The whole being complacent, it's like, oh, well, this is fine.
Right.
You know, it's flexible or whatever. It meets your needs just
yeah.
barely.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you realize when you get somewhere, you know, you have another job, like how happy you can be.
Oh my God, yeah.
And you're working again?
So I work at this this company called Alpha Sense, and it's in hedge funds.
What is a hedge fund?
So yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's a good question.
It's bushes around the house.
Yeah, and you fund them. It's the money tree, you know. I'm like,
money tree.
Yeah, it's a money tree, exactly. You know, it's the giving tree. That book, The Giving Tree, that just gives you money and shit.
Oh, you know him?
I know him. No, so it's like that is a great question. I don't even know if I'm fully equipped to answer that question, but I work in the industry. But like,
that's so funny.
Oh, I know. I don't know. I mean, I got a Bachelor of Arts. I did not. I think I failed 2 math classes in college. Like, it was not my thing. But I am. So like, and it's funny. A lot of artists, a lot of comedians work in that role. Like a comedian got me into this job, and basically, it's like they look for creative people who can like think like creatively outside of just being like a robot, basically, who like crunches numbers and shit. So, but a hedge fund, they basically are why people can't afford rent. So I'm not working for the good guys. I realize this. So like my job is like the company that I work for, they specialize in finding people who want to consult on companies that our clients who are hedge funds are looking to invest in either short term or long term. So like say people are interested in investing in Apple. So we'll go out. So my job as I'm a research manager. That's my role. I would have to go and like run a bunch of different run a bunch of research on people who like either are former or current employees of Apple who can talk about why would it be good to invest in this company short term or long term. It all has to be above board. Just people like, isn't that insider trading? And I'm like, well, we get around it with like compliance and stuff like that. But basically, yeah. But
I love how Cortney is a hustler.
I had to let people know everything we do is legal. This company's been around for like 15 years. It's all very above board. Like a lot of comedians work there because it's like it's flexible, it's full time, it's health insurance, but we can travel. Like for example, I come down here today and not have it doesn't disrupt my workflow or anything. And
that's dope.
Which is really nice. It sounds like the fucking mafia. I realize this is what it sounds like a cult or something. Our main dude, Evan Burke, shout out Evan Burke. He got us. He's been working for that company for like 10 years and he's watched it change. And then one day I was at his house and I was like, it was for 4th of July and I was like just drunk and high enough to be like, how do you afford a house like this in East Nashville and you do comedy sometimes? Like, how do you do this? And then he was just so sweet. He told me and I was like, well, I want to work there. And so like just over a course of time, it worked out that he's like, hey, we have an opening. You should apply. And that was it. And like within a month from like me applying, it was like less than a month from me applying to me starting the job, which was crazy. And so so it's been good. It's definitely like, I enjoy the work that I do. Like, I find it very interesting, like researching these different companies. Like, my specific sector is in healthcare. So I learned a lot about like healthcare IT and AI and how that's affecting like the industry. So all of that is really interesting, surprisingly, but it uses my brain in a way that is like more productive than destructive. Because I like to go down the internet rabbit hole. I like to Google people and find out, you know.
So now you're putting that to good use.
Yes, instead of me like looking at all the guy I was dating recently, what girl he's fucking now, I just put it all into work. And I'm like, I don't need to know where she went to college or whatever. I don't need to know her mom's maiden name. It doesn't matter to me. I can just put this into work. So
that's amazing.
It's like definitely helped me not go down a destructive like rabbit hole pattern of what I normally would do, you know, because I just get bored.
Isn't that like a little bit of a thin line since most of your bullies are also nurses now?
Oh, I know. I know. Well, there's definitely going to be. There's definitely a time if their name ever crosses my desk, I'll be like, no, we're not going to hire it. We're not going to. No, they don't need to make money consulting with us. I think I could. There's a little conflict. I would just say it's a conflict of interest.
Really?
You know
is this their home address?
Oh, crazy. Oh, how much do they make a year? Well, that's what they deserve. So.
That's so funny. That's awesome.
But yeah, I really it's like kind of nerdy to say that I like my day job as a creative, but it's like it serves its purpose for now, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's nerdy. I think that's what we all strive for.
Right.
It's like it doesn't always have to be the thing we're wanting, but it's the thing that we're like, okay, this is flexible, this gives me enough money. Right. This, you know, also works my brain in a good way.
Oh, yeah.
I love something that tickles my brain.
Me too.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now? What are you doing?
Well, now I am a marketing manager. I think it's going to be one of those two because it's going to give you the flexibility. With it being marketing, I'm going to have the ability to kind of like play with social media, algorithms, stuff like that. Yeah. Also videos and stuff like that. But you are a painter?
Yeah, I like to paint.
That is so cool. What kind of things do you like to paint?
So I like to do portraits mostly. I do portraits of like my friends and stuff. Mostly it's just like started out as me giving gifts to people.
That is crazy that you do portraits. Yeah. I feel like faces are the hardest thing to draw.
It's highly stylized. And we can probably pop in a couple of stylized, very like, I do a lot of like just shapes. Like I do like the very round head, like the big round eyes and the little like rosy cheeks. Almost like a nutcracker doll is kind of how I paint my friends.
That's so cool.
So it started out with that, and then people would share them on Instagram, and now I've had a few people pay me to paint their pets and their family and stuff. So, but it's mostly, I try to keep it mostly a hobby because it's like, I know everyone's like, monetize everything you do, but it's like, oh, God, no. I don't want to hate it, you know?
Yeah, especially if it's like, oh, I find peace in this.
And that's what it is, you know? That and like with photography, like with the tattoo we're doing, those are the two things that I find like a lot of like peace in, because it's like, I think, and I'm sure you get this too, being a comedian, like you're so used to your art being so focused on you, and like, everything is just so centered on you when you do stand-up, obviously. And even like for me, like, I look different than people, like in living, like I'm not a straight, I am straight, but like I'm like a Freudian slip. Stay tuned for the next episode. That's how we get them hooked in, people, you know?
What a little mystery.
I know.
Suspense.
I know. Check it for part 2.
A lot of ass talk.
Right, ass talk. So I'm used to people just like, either like people don't forget who I am for better or worse, you know, because people just aren't used to seeing people who look like me. So I like having different mediums of art that I can not be the focus. I can just like be the observer and just like take in like whatever I'm seeing, you know. So that's why
that's really cool.
Thank you. I don't know. I like posting my stuff, but I don't want to fully monetize it because then people are going to be like, we like what you do specifically. Then it turns more into being about me again, you know.
Right.
So I'd rather just keep it as a hobby, but I do love it.
That is really cool. That's really
you.
cool, and I love that you do portraits. That's amazing.
Thank you.
I love flowers. Flowers are fun for me to paint. Yeah. I could never do a face. So do you do like, when you're starting a painting, how do you do it? Do you do in pencil and do your stuff first?
A little bit of pencil, and like the main thing for me is like I'll have like photos of whoever I'm painting pull up on my phone and like have like super zoomed in. I always try to get the face shape. I feel like that's always like the main thing for me is the face shape and the hair, because like as far as portraits go, like they're pretty basic. Like I can just do like circles for the eyes and very standard like mouth and stuff like that. Like nothing too crazy, but like I feel like if I get the face shape and then the hair color and the hair shape, I can like really like make it look like the person.
Yeah.
So I kind of start with the outline of both of those things, and then like I will usually paint, like get like the skin tone, paint that, let it sit, come back to it, do the eyes, do the mouth, and do the hair and stuff. And I try to like really get a good sense of like what background color I want, almost like an aura painting, you know what I mean? So like, what's the vibe of this person, like whatever, why do I think that like they should have green versus blue or like whatever. So it's a lot of like, I put a lot of intention into it, you know?
Ooh.
I try to like make sure there's like, it's like very like specific. Like I can't wait to show you, I'm fighting the urge to pull my phone out and show you photos, but like we'll do it later.
If you were gonna paint a portrait of yourself right now, what color would the background be? I know you don't like being the focal point.
I'd probably do, for right now, just given like I'd probably do red.
Red?
Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. That's fierce.
Yeah, thank you.
Fierce.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm an Aries, you know, so the fire sign. I just feel like I also have a lot of fire in my belly. I feel like that I've worked on taming, you know, like not like losing my temper and my shit on people, but like sometimes they deserve it. But you know, you know what I mean?
Does Cortney Warner have a short temper?
I've worked on it.
I love that.
Oh, it was like I still definitely have it there, but it's very much like you won't be able to tell. But before it would be like I would just pop off immediately, and I'm like, Cortney, it's good that people know your feelings. It's good to share your feelings, but maybe not like that.
That's funny because I've always just seen you smiling. I've never.
Yeah,
it's hard to imagine you
like
angry.
A sad clown, you know, just like. You know what I mean? Like,
well, sometimes if somebody has a short temper, you see it. You know, like, or you can even kind of tell, just like. But you're just like you're so welcoming to everybody.
I try to be. I've definitely had to learn to stop doing that too, because people take advantage of you. Don't let them do that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're completely. That's
and that's where I think where my temper will come out a little bit. Where if I feel a sense that someone's taking advantage of me or trying to use me as a stepping stone, and that's where for me, it's more just like I'll just cut them out. I'm just like, okay, we're done here. You know what I mean? And maybe that's not. the healthiest way of communicating, but also it is like, do they deserve my time? Like, I've had people.
You've got goals, babe.
You know what I mean?
You've
Like,
got
I've got
shit
things
to
to
do.
do, and like, I've gone over this with my therapist and stuff too, where she's like, don't you think it would be helpful for you to tell them your feelings? And I'm like, they'd weaponize that against me later on. Because our industry, entertainment and comedy, everyone's so fucked up. Like, I just think people would not risk, unless people are like we're friends, for example. Like, if something came up like, hey, Raina, that really hurt my feelings, whatever. That'd be different than like other people you just can't trust. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound so cynical, but I have had my words and my vulnerability turned against me. So that's where it's just like, it's easier just to walk away, you know?
Or they go on the attack.
Yeah, they go on the attack and they use it.
All of a sudden, they're spreading a bunch of bullshit.
You know.
And all of a sudden, like, you're the bad guy. And it's just like, just trying to tell dick jokes,
right.
you know?
Just let me tell my little fart jokes and get out of here. You know? Because the last thing you want is people to be like, Cortney sat me down and she attacked me.
Yeah.
And like, because I've just seen.
It was a complete civil conversation.
Yeah. And so, like, I think that there's two sides to that coin. But I think, like, my temper, I've definitely learned just to take a breath and be like, is this worth my energy? Will I stew on it for a minute and then move on? And usually I just do. Like, I feel like that's part of just like my temper that I learned about myself is like, it just comes really fast and it goes away, you know? Like, almost like a flash in the pan. And I'm like, was it worth burning down the whole building for that? You know what I mean?
Burning down the whole building.
Well, it wasn't worth it burning down everything. So just like, the temper comes, but it's mostly just me having to sit with it. So.
Okay, well that's cool. Congratulations on anger management.
Thank you.
On graduating anger management.
Thank you. No punching holes in walls, you know. But I think like therapy has really helped with that too. Because I remember like when I started going to therapy, I'm like, I don't want to keep going in the same cycle of like bullshit and like trauma, because it's like and now that I'm starting to be on the other side of that, I'm working through all that stuff. I see people who just aren't working on themselves, and I'm like, oh, that's so.
It's even more frustrating.
It is. It's sad and it's frustrating, and it's also like I can't be part of this. You know what I mean? Not to be like I'm better than you, but I can't get sucked into the bullshit.
Right? Because you do. You will.
Because people who don't work on themselves will just like try and suck people back into the get caught in the shrapnel of it all.
Misery loves company.
It does, though. It really does.
It does. And then in addition to that, it's like you know, if you're the type of caring person, which you are, the type of person who's like wanting to help or wanting to uplift them, and then it's like they don't let you, so you feel like you end up putting more energy into them than yourself.
Oh, for sure. Oh, 100%. Like, I think there may be a little bit. I know that I have some codependency tendencies sometimes that come out too, and I think just like wanting to help people, because I wanting to not to sound like I'm like Mother Teresa out here, but like it is nice to see people reach their full potential. You know? And I think that's also part of like being able to be a part of that is really special too. And when people just don't want to do that, like when you offer solutions to problems and they're just like, never mind, but they complain about the same shit, it is so frustrating, you know?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I do it sometimes too. Like me and my
It's easy to do it, yeah.
Me and my girlfriends go round and round and talk about the same bullshit, and then we'll be done. Then one day we'll just be done with talking about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Going out on your own to chase your dream, overcoming your fear, did you feel defeated?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I still do.
And you've already kind of expressed like, you started doing music, and then you were like, okay, this is it for me.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes you even stronger as an artist, because you've already tried something and you accepted that something wasn't for you.
And like,
exactly.
Like,
or they try one thing and they're done and they never try anything again.
That's
but I think it's, quite literally like we're just trying to find our way in the world.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that's kind of like helped you? Like you're like, oh, okay. So like if you do a show or something doesn't go your way and you're like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you handle like defeat well? Like, or like
I didn't early on in comedy, because I said like every set counted, every open mic counted, who's watching me, who's hanging out, like, you know what I mean? And I remember, I definitely have memories of like, I have fuzzy memories of when I've really crushed it and really done well on a show. But I have very distinct memories of when I've bombed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those stick with us.
They don't go away. And it's like, for me, every one of them has been like an open mic. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Right. You're supposed to try to bomb at an open mic.
And like, I still have these like horrible memories of like, one, why did I let that bother me so much? It's like, I think it's more like why it bothered me so much that I bombed and I left the room. It was at the East Room. Might as well just put that out there.
East Room.
Shocker. East Room open mic on Tuesdays. Shout out. I haven't been in a while, but I'm sure it's still going good. Not because of the story, but like I just remember I went up and I was super ready to like crush it. I'm like, I have all these great jokes. They're going to go so well. And I just ate it. And I think I cut my set short. I was maybe like 3 years into comedy. So like not that much, in the grand scheme of things. And I just like remember leaving in a huff, grabbed my purse and walking out the door. And I'm like, man, I shouldn't have left like that. You know, like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Everyone was bombing, so who gave... Like, I remember everyone was bombing, but, like, for some reason, that sticks in my mind as, like, oh, I'm shitty, and, like, whatever. And, like... But as far as, like, feeling, like, defeat and stuff like that, I definitely still feel like, you know, like, it's hard to not get caught up in the politics of all... Of, like, and I feel like it's very much like high school, you know what I mean?
Very much. Cliquey, same issues.
Except that people have, like, open and free access to weed and alcohol. So
yeah, which
like,
is, like, kind of a little bit worse
it's
sometimes.
Worse, and they're all, like, in their 40s, and I'm just like, can you please not? You know what I mean? Like, why are you still being a pick-me at 40 years old? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
It's just, both men and women. Men are pick-me's for men. It's just like, can you just chill? You know what I mean? So, but I definitely feel the defeat. Still, not as much, or it's like I can have more perspective of, like, okay, that wasn't great. But I know I have tomorrow, you know what I mean? And there's this quote that I repost often whenever it comes on my timeline by Miles Davis, where it's like, sometimes it takes a long time to learn how to play like yourself.
Yeah.
And I think about that a lot, where I'm like, I'm still figuring it out. I'm still figuring out, like, my voice and what I want. And, like, you know, I see people who have people in my who are peers of mine who are getting success either early on or, like, very specific success. And I'm like, it's hard not to feel that jealousy or feel defeat, but I'm also like, do I want that? I mean, I would like that if it were offered to me, but I'm not seeking out that route specifically. You know what I mean? So
I was talking with somebody, because somebody was saying, you know, like, how much have you made with comedy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love this conversation.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
It reminds me how broke I am.
I know.
I love the fact that people are always like, oh man, you're probably close to just living off of comedy, huh? And it's like, yeah, man, last year I almost broke $250.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, a lot of different people's perspective is like, that's what I want.
Right.
Or I see them getting it, and why am I not getting it? But you kind of are getting it. Like, everybody determines their own path, really. Like, I do think that there's breaks and stuff like that, like Pakatua and all this.
Classic.
Right place, right time.
Right place, right time. But do you really want that career?
No.
Right, no,
Like,
you don't. Because that's not when
She's
you're
stuck
ready
with that.
career. You're right. That's her slogan.
Her
That's
whole
her
thing. Oh my God. Like, can you imagine, like, that being what you're known for the rest of your life?
Like, so I was talking with somebody else about this. Now, if she parlays that into something else, man, high five.
Right,
you know,
good for
way to
her.
go. But you know, there's a bunch of haters out there, like, why is she getting so much attention for this one thing?
Right.
And like you say, it's a lot of situational, right?
It is.
Right time.
Right place, right time.
Man, it hit a nerve. It hit. No matter what, it hit.
Yeah.
And so, whenever I look at, like, people with names, and you look what they have to deal with, you know, like, I don't know, man. I'm pretty okay with where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I want to be a Kevin Hart.
Right.
You know how much bullshit that dude has to deal with on a daily basis?
What about all that Cat Williams interview? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, we have to,
And then there's that. You don't even know what's true.
I know,
but you got to field all those questions.
That's
like,
crazy.
Like, being in that position, you got to feel like the weaponized we were talking about. We don't know what was said. We don't know.
Because the way things are cut, you never know.
People want to frame you the way they're going to frame you.
100%.
You know, if one day somebody decides they don't like you and it's the right person, and it's a bad article, it's a bad whatever, and it's like, now you have to make all this effort to come back from something, and it's like, I didn't even do anything wrong.
Oh, I know, dude.
I would be so happy just to live off of it, even if I didn't get famous.
I mean, that's
just like, pay my bills.
Right.
Like,
pay my bills.
I don't have to punch a clock.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing. Like, I don't have to punch a clock.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
That's pretty okay with me, you know?
Yeah.
I watched a video recently where it's like, it was like a YouTube video about Sabrina Carpenter. I know, sorry, so many pop culture references, but that's like what I
No,
enjoy.
you're great.
Like,
I love
but
that.
It was like, why does it take 10 years to become an overnight success? You know, and like, why she, like her and Charlie XCX and Chappell Roan and all these pop girls who are like coming out of nowhere, but they've been grinding for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Had mild successes here and there, but like now they're, but they, you know, and I the video specifically talked about Sabrina doing the Eras tour with Taylor Swift. It's like, if she was given that maybe even 5 years ago, she wouldn't have been ready for those arenas. You know what I mean? So it's like, so you think about the people who are the true overnight successes, like the Hawk Tuah girl or like whatever. It's like, well, that would be so overstimulating. One, for the nervous system. I think I would freak out. You know what I mean? And also,
going from somebody who doesn't do anything really in front of people, and
then
suddenly
you got so many people jumping on your wagon,
yes,
trying going to.
You know, like I saw a thing.
She's been interviewing on everybody's podcast.
Everyone's podcast, yeah.
Have you gotten her yet?
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah. What about Gypsy Rose? Like same deal. You know, well, it's not a different trajectory, but same. We all got there.
So Gypsy Rose from Lafourche Parish.
I was gonna say that's why you got to get her on here.
Yeah, you know her.
You know her.
Yeah, you remind her of home.
I'm sorry, I'm not incriminating.
But like with the Hakatula girl, how many people around her are sheep, like the wolves in sheep clothing?
Yeah.
You know, like I'm gonna be. I'll take care of you and all this and everything else and all. Because like I saw something where she's like going on this world meet and greet tour.
Meet and greet tour? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
That's just the fucking Jonas Brothers? Like, what the hell?
But I mean, the thing about it is, who's paying for that?
Yeah.
She is.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know, she's got a management company sitting there going, yeah, we'll get you.
We'll cover it. We'll give you the advance.
Yeah. And because like musicians usually don't make money until their third album.
Yeah, because of the advance. Same with authors too, kind of the same deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, so like, to me, I would much rather build something smaller with a closer group around me that I can trust than, bam, overnight, all of a sudden I got everybody pulling on my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Dude, I think that's like Mike Birbiglia said something like that on a podcast too, where he's like, I know my fan base is like, not that wide, but it's very deep and loyal. And he said, that's what I'd rather have. He's like, I've traveled the world, I've done movies, whatever, but he's content doing like his one-man show and like living in New York and like having his loyal fans. And I'm like, that's really like, that sounds amazing, honestly. Like to make enough.
But wasn't that Ari Shaffir's business model too?
Yeah, Ari
like
Shaffir's
he was like, I need 20,000 loyal fans to come see me every time I'm in their town.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was like, and like he was living either above or on the side of the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And he figured out, he was like, I need $11,000 a year to live.
Wow.
And
nice.
He did not care.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I still don't think he really cares, but I mean, he's got to. I mean, he's in a different place.
Right.
But still, like, he was like, he figured out exactly how much he needed to live. And he's like, I need $11,000.
That's cool.
That's all I need. And so he just did comedy every night. You know,
awesome.
I mean,
yeah.
He would work the shifts that people didn't want to work. And, he was like, and I would get up. It was like, I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Right. But I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning in the Comedy Store.
That's true.
Right.
Which I will say, I'm actually, I'm going to be in LA in a few weeks, and I'm doing the Comedy Store in the Hollywood Improv. So.
Congratulations! That's amazing.
Thank you. I lucked out. I got the chance to be at one of the cold opens at the Comedy Store last year. It was a show in the belly room, so the smaller room upstairs. But I got to be a cold open for the roast battle circuit, which was super cool. And I just went up and did like 5 minutes up top before the host came out, and now I'm going back roasting. So I got to pick my opponent. She's a good friend of mine, Paulina Combo. Shout out Paulina. I'm just shouting out all my homies.
No, I love it. It's great.
Shout out Paulina. We're gonna roast each other. We got on a Zoom call recently to like old school.
To kind of like plan it out.
Yeah, we were like, let's just do old school. Let's like just talk about what's off limits, what's on limits. Like what have people said in the past that is funny, that sticks out, So like we're gonna roast each other, and like I'm really stoked. And the last time I was at the Comedy Store when I did the cold open, our show, the roast battle, got pushed back an hour because Adam Sandler dropped in to do like an Adam Sandler and Friends, which was really cool to like be like, we got almost bumped for Adam Sandler, but and like here he is in the green room, and that's cool. Like
that is really cool. I love Adam Sandler. I named my first D&D character Adam Sandler.
Really? Yeah. Oh my god! So what was he a fan? I don't know much about D&D, but I know there were specific like.
Oh yeah, so
creatures.
It was a she actually, and her name was Adam Sandler.
Hey, we love.
She was a warlock tiefling.
Okay.
Yeah, she was green.
Oh.
And it's my favorite color. Yeah. So she was green, and she was cool.
I love that.
I was actually really bad at D&D. I almost died so many times. My DM had mercy on me for sure because I just kept running in. I didn't understand stats,
Right, yeah.
I didn't even really play video games or anything before I started playing D&D. I'm just not like a gamer like that.
I feel that.
I would just run into battle and then almost die.
Jenkins.
Oh, what?
Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins?
Yeah, you never watched that YouTube clip? Well, I mean, you were probably just born when it came out. But yeah, they got this guy. He's in Half-Life or something like that. Another one of the real-life games. And everybody's like, all right, let's get a battle plan together and all this. And they're talking and everything. And Leroy Jenkins was like, man, y'all bunch of pussies. Let's just go in there and dominate. And it's like, come on, Leroy, stop, man. You need to chill out. Let's make a plan. And he's like, man, fuck y'all. Leroy Jenkins. And he just runs in there and he ends up getting his entire team killed.
Oh
my God.
And all his team's like, God damn it, Leroy.
Your tattoo. Where do we get it? You're getting a camera?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Okay. And you're getting a camera because of photography?
Yes. And it's the camera that I made. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Keep going.
It's the one that I mainly use to shoot film on. It was the first one that I got. And actually, I did bring it with me. So I thought, like, you know, I wanted to hopefully shoot some photos, like, around, like, Low Mill and stuff tonight. And, like, walk around again. Like, I have, like, a fucking whole 8 hours before I have to do anything. Then I'm going to walk around and probably take some photos. But yeah, like, this has just been really important to me. And, like, I've been wanting to get a camera tattoo, but I was like, oh, I don't want a Polaroid. I don't want what I'm getting is a Canon AE1, which were very popular in the 70s, and like now they're kind of considered like more of a student camera. A lot of film photography students usually start out with, but they're just really sturdy and dependable and just fun. Like I've been experimenting with different types of film. Normally I shoot on Portra 400, which I know that's like what for any camera heads watch, I know that's like what the noobs shoot on, but I like it. It looks good. Who gives a shit? But like I've been trying other types of film and stuff, and I've been recently getting like my stuff printed, like going to a film shop and like getting my photos printed, which has been cool.
Yeah.
I had my first art show back in June, which was awesome, and it had like my paintings.
Congratulations!
Thank you. It was an art show, and then I got to curate like a comedy show around it too. So
that's amazing.
It was super fun. So I felt I lucked out. Then I usually get my film developed either at Third Man Records, which is like, got to keep everything at home, you know. And then I also get the prints developed at Safe Life Imaging in Nashville, which the staff there is super nice. I've only met the one employee. I think they only have one employee, but like they're really nice.
I think they only have one. It's just one person.
Yeah, but they're super. The staff is amazing. It's just the one person.
That's probably when you know it is quality work because they can't blame it on anybody else.
They can't, you know. And they're so nice. Yeah. Halloween is my shit. That is my holiday.
Yes.
You know, I already have plans for Halloween, so like.
Oh, do you know what you're gonna be for Halloween already?
I don't know yet because last year I did Twin Peaks. I was Audrey from Twin Peaks. So I had a couple skirt because Third Man Records says like their Halloween party is always Twin Peaks themed. So I had my little outfit and my wig, and they had like a big brass band in there playing like the songs from like all of David Lynch's stuff. And so this year I don't know. I might go as Kim Possible. I was thinking I might do that.
Love that.
Or, because I've always just wanted to go as her, you know.
The Twin Peaks theme, can you dress as an object or it has to be a character?
Oh, it can be anything. So, like, I think my friend did go as a log last year, which was fun for the log lady. And then it was a lot of fun to see a lot of cool costumes. My bestie, MK Gannon, went, oh, God, I'm forgetting her name, but she had an eye patch. It was really funny. And then she kept it on the whole night in costume. And she's like, I think I'm going to be blind tomorrow, but it's fine.
It is disorienting to wear an eye patch.
I agree.
Sometimes it's like, oh, my depth perception's weird.
So
I feel nauseous.
Yes. But she committed, goddammit.
Yeah, that's what we need.
I know. She has to do this podcast. She's got to get on here sometime. She'd be great.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
My best friend MK. Shout out to MK Gannon. But
I love that.
I'm sure she'll watch this too. I make her watch everything.
I want to clip out all the shout outs. I want to clip out just Cortney being like, shout out.
That would be funny.
That's awesome, though. You be plugging everybody.
I try to, you know. You can't get anywhere without a little help, you know.
No, I agree. I totally agree. I love that. Are you running any shows?
Yeah, I run a show. I run 2 shows. I run my monthly show. It's at this place called Babo in Nashville, and it's monthly, and it's an outdoor show on the patio. Very low key vibes, you know, like maybe like you know like usually like a handful of people show up to watch and. It's a chill time, you know, and then the main thing I book is my show at the Blue Room at Third Man Records. It's quarterly, so I usually do one each season. So we just did the summer one last weekend, and the fall one's November 8th. And I book usually I'll do a lineup of local comedians, and then try and book a local musician or local DJs to kind of close out the night. And thankfully, it always sells out. It's seats 150 people in the room, and always packs out.
That's dope. That's awesome.
And Third Man is Jack White's venue, so he comes to the show sometimes, and so which is cool. And yeah, that's my baby. It's been going good. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now, and I'm gonna probably start opening it up to out of town comics at some point. But right now, I've been keeping it local. They've really been liking to brand it all local comics, all local.
That's amazing. You know, that's really cool.
Giving people who don't always get that platform a stage to get good photos and get a good tape and get to be in a cool green room and get food and stuff. Like I want to I make it the whole experience,
That's really cool.
You need to be a rock star for a night, and so it's my favorite thing to do.
You are a total rock star, by the way.
Dude,
you also have such a great sense of style.
Thank you.
One of my favorite things is when you post pictures on Instagram and your outfits are always so incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have your outfit idea for your show? I'm sure you're planning
for
it.
Tonight or for
for your one-man show.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking I think I might try and do something where I can do I'm thinking breakaway pants.
Oh my god!
Just to do layers and stuff, you know what I mean?
I love
something
this.
more almost how in at the MTV Music Awards where Taylor Swift came out in a hoodie and jeans and she sang her stuff, but then she ripped it off with this sparkly dress. I think that could be fun, something like that, or maybe something custom.
I love that.
I know a couple of really cool designers in Nashville. I'm thinking maybe a custom bodysuit with bell sleeves.
Oh my gosh, that would be so
almost
cute.
like a Wednesday Addams, with the collar and stuff. I'm thinking something like that. I'm trying to gear up for the one woman show, and then also I want to do a second album. Hopefully, I can do it at Third Man or somewhere. I can film and record it somewhere, and I want to. The first one, Pointy Boys, is very Wes Anderson inspired, with the colors and the outfit and the aesthetic. And I like the idea, what musicians do, they have a different era for each of their albums. So I'm thinking, at least aesthetically, you know what I mean?
I love that. That's great. You have an eye for it. That's awesome.
Thank you. So I'm thinking for comedy, maybe do a little more dark, maybe lean more into the David Lynch or Tim Burton kind of vibe. So go from bright, sunny Wes Anderson to maybe more darker, macabre vibe. So
Ooh, I love that.
just to distinguish what I have going on, you know what I mean? So. I just feel I think comedians could take a lot away from how musicians market themselves, because I think comedians, first off, a lot of comics merch and posters are fucking ugly. Not anything that we've done together, but but you know what I mean?
Shout out Epic Comedy.
Yeah. I will say Scott Easton makes great posters. But you know what I mean? You see some real dog shit stuff out there. I'm you're one selling a t-shirt where it's just so fucking ugly.
Or it has your face on it and it's people don't really know you that well. They don't want to wear your face on a t-shirt.
Yeah, your giant fucking mugshot on here, I mean, although if I ever got a mugshot and had that on a shirt, that'd be iconic, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as it wasn't
it's easy to do.
Right.
I mean, you need a mugshot. I can get your mugshot by 2 o'clock.
Yeah. As long as it's for something cool, not killing a family of 4 drunk driving. You know what I mean?
When you start, you're killing a family of 4. I'm I don't know, murder's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
And then you're drunk driving. I'm not cool, not cool.
Yeah, were the family themselves also a family of murderers? Was it a Dexter situation?
I am always intrigued by the Dexter situation.
Me too.
I'd be a murderer.
Yeah.
So. I got a major problem with the Dexter series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Is it the way it ended? Because we agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so how cool would the ending have been?
Spoilers, by the way.
One, he never bangs his sister. That's so stupid.
Well, Game of Thrones hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, but he never bangs his sister, okay?
Is that...
Instead, he what's her face? So what's her face? The romantic interest,
not the sister.
Yeah, not the sister. The romantic interest lands in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, and in the series, she had the Harrison with her. She had the kid with her. She lands in Europe. She's by herself. Flash to a semi truck. His sister opens it up. Dexter's hanging from the ceiling, gutted. Harrison's sitting in his blood. Harrison becomes the next Dexter, looking for the romantic interest that killed his dad. Because that's exactly what happened to Dexter.
Yeah.
Is that not a good ending?
That's a great ending. That would have been so good.
That would have been epic. And whenever they do the reboot,
that'd be
it's
perfect.
Harrison and Deb is training Harrison to be a serial killer.
That's like Doctor Who.
Like the way his dad taught him. Yeah. I love that.
That's father like son.
Yeah, that's really cute.
It's actually really heartwarming. That's like some Doctor Who shit though. Just constantly keeping it going. You know?
Yeah, but the
it's almost like a curse.
I was like, what is wrong with the writers from this show?
Yeah, that's why we should be working in Hollywood. What are we?
I think between the 3 of us, we could rewrite Dexter way better.
Oh, it's so good. Make it so good.
There'd be incest.
There'd be incest. Boobs. Love boobs.
Lots of boobs.
Ass.
That's gonna be stuck. I'm gonna text Scott. I want that to be my walk-on song tonight.
That's it.
We'll just
money.
Yeah.
Ruins so much creativity.
Oh, I know.
It does.
So, like, have you encountered a situation where it was just like, if money was just not a part of this situation, it would be so much better?
Oh my God, yeah. I have a regret story that I've shared before. When I was working at Trader Joe's, they were like, you could get time off, but it was like unpaid, but you could only take so many days off per like quarter. It was a very like, I'm thankful now I work at a place that has unlimited PTO, so those are days long in the past. But like I took off some time at Trader Joe's, I remember, because I got sick, and so I used up a lot of that time. Because the sick days and the days off all kind of work. I don't know how they got away with that. Again, whatever, Trader Joe's. I still shop there, so don't come after me.
Whatever, Trader Joe's.
You know, I'll go on welfare before I work there again. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. If I lose my job, I'll don't know. I'll make an OnlyFans, only feet. I don't know.
Only feet.
Yeah.
I wish I could sell pictures of my feet. I got web toes. I don't know if
people have like fish fetish. I
got web toes.
They're into like the little mermaid shit. Have you ever been on that website? What was it called? Like Rotten Apple, like with all the.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you knew exactly what I was talking about.
He's like positively.
Absolutely, I contribute. I contribute to that website. But like I got a chance to open for Ronnie Chang in St. Louis. I got offered. They were like. Because I got hit up by this comic who like worked at I think it was at the Looney Bin, I believe, and they were like, hey, we showed Ronnie a handful of tapes. Ronnie, I think this is really cool with him. He always wants an Asian person to be his opener, because I think that's awesome, because like there's aren't a lot of opportunities, and like for someone who's seeking out like another person of color, another minority, who he probably also struggled getting opportunities when he started. Right. Anyway, so like they were like, we showed him your tape. I didn't even know I was in consideration for this. I was like 24, 25 at the time. And they're like, he wants you to open for him. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. They're like, yeah, can you be in St. Louis this Thursday through Saturday, the normal club weekend? And I'm like, let me figure it out. Would love to do it. And I went to my boss. I was like, I have this really cool opportunity. Can I please get this time off? I'll do whatever I got to do. I'll work whatever other shifts. And they denied it. So I was like, I can't lose this job. I have no other income. So I had to turn down the gig.
Oh,
and this was pre-Marvel. This was pre him doing all these movies,
right? And
I'm like, and the fact that he chose me out of like a handful of people to open for him for that weekend, I just don't know where it could have led. If it could have led anywhere, but like, and again, this is like before he became this big movie star, and I'm like, damn, that would have been so fucking cool, And
yeah,
if I didn't give a fuck about the job. So if I didn't have to worry about money or supporting myself, I would have been like, well, fuck y'all, I'm gonna quit.
Right.
But I'm like, I need the money. I can't quit my job, then come home after the weekend with coming home in debt, and then having to find a new job.
Right. So, like it would just put you too far back.
It would have, and like it just would have made even more problems for me, like in general, just trying to make ends meet. And so like, I don't know, I do think about that often. I'm like, it's like the what if, maybe nothing would have came of it. Who knows what would have happened, but.
I love it. I think it just maybe it wasn't
the right time.
The right time, but your time is coming, dude.
I hope so.
You're so multifaceted. You have so many different talents.
Thank you.
I love that. I think that's so incredible.
Oh, dude, thank you.
Honestly, like not just somebody of color, but a woman also. Like, do you feel like more opportunities are starting to open up for women in comedy and art and things?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, art, I don't know. I think art, I think Frida Kahlo kind of leveled the playing field a lot whenever it comes to
Nan
art.
Golden for photography.
Yeah, I think there's been a catch up there where I still think like a lot of times entertainment and stuff like that is still kind of like behind the times. I mean, so you said, you're 9 years in on comedy?
I'm 7, 8. Yeah, 7, 8,
so in that time, I know, Rainer, you're what, 3, 4?
It'll be 5 in December.
Oh, shit,
okay.
That's amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
So like, have y'all seen like a progression to where there's a little bit more opportunity?
Yeah. Yes, I do, but I'll say this, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I'll say this as far as Nashville comedy goes, there are more opportunities because people like myself and MK had to fight through the trenches early on in those early years and make opportunities. Like,
No, that's amazing.
You know?
Yeah, you should pat yourself on the back for that. I started at a weird time after 2020.
Oh, yeah.
So I always feel weird answering this question because like everything in comedy changed after 2020.
100%, yeah.
But go ahead with what you were saying.
And I think like, and I'm not trying to like, I'm just being fully honest here where it is a little bit like, I'm thankful that it's easier for people to, easier for women and people of color and other marginalized groups of people to feel comfortable doing comedy and going to open mics that I curate, that MK curates, that other people that are kind of from the same class curate, but it does make me mourn and a little bit that I didn't get the same benefit of the doubt or the same opportunities that these younger people are getting because they're coming out of the gate ready to go with confidence because older comics are a little kinder to them than maybe
y'all built it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Which, I mean, it is something to be proud of, but it is so much work and it still feels like her and I are kind of pushing the boundaries and trying to get in these different spaces to be seen, and we're still people who are still kind of gatekeepers see us as people that we were when we first started out, which we weren't our best selves. We weren't our best comedians at the time, you know? And then other people look to us as resources, and some people have bled us dry a little bit. I'm not saying anyone in particular, but I'm just saying, you know, have
you know who you are.
advantage and not really give anything in return. And so, am I being shady this podcast? Yeah, I have a needle in my arm right now. I'm going to say some wild shit right now. But it is like one of those things where I see the progression on a micro level in our scene, but because of the work that I feel like I've contributed, not necessarily the culture shift. Because I think comedy is 20 years behind everything else, which is so crazy to me because people look at comedians as almost like, they treat some of us like modern day philosophers, which I don't, especially like right during like the 2020 election and COVID.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, what are the comedians saying? Because they have no filter. And then that turned into another thing completely, like, you know.
Right.
But I just feel like for people who look at comedians as like being on the pulse of culture and humanity, like I think that the industry is very behind. And so
I think
agree
for a
with
long
that.
time the comedian was the button pusher.
yeah.
You know, like you think about
Yeah.
Lenny Bruce and Carlin and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, and even Joan
Rivers.
Joan
Oh,
Rivers.
yeah.
You know, they were like the rebels.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, so now it's like that rebel mentality has kind of chilled out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's like more of a conform thing. Let me conform instead of being the rebel.
Right.
Do you think that like that full circle is going to come back to where that rebel mentality, the I'm going to say the things that won't be said, kind of comes back, or does it stay?
I think it has a lot to do with the economy.
I think so too.
Not in this economy.
Yeah, bro, literally, that could sum up the whole podcast. Yeah, that's end of the podcast. That's it.
Because it's like a lot of people want the platform to be able to say, like, obviously we know that like freedom of speech, we have it.
We all have it.
But then at the risk of your career, at the risk of your income, you know, at the risk or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and also just being a woman, like being a woman.
Yeah, literally. The economy and a woman. That's the thesis statement of today.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, like, I feel like women comedians come with a stigma.
Yeah.
Like, and
oh yeah,
I don't think so. Like,
we just talk about our pussies too much.
Yeah,
they hate it. But they hate it. They don't want to hear about pussies or periods.
Yeah, no.
We should go back to talking about periods.
Yes, we do. Yes. dog periods.
Dog periods.
God, that's disgusting. But
I mean, like,
so
I honestly feel like in modern now that stigma is kind of being broken because, like, I think that stigma was developed because that was the only avenue that women had to like be that rebellious person, like
right.
And now it's like you can, like, I don't want this to sound wrong, but you can have. I really don't want this to sound like you can have more intelligent writing.
Yeah.
Like you can write about subjects that aren't just your vagina, my titties, and then yada yada yada.
Right.
Men with the same thing too, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like the whole humping the stool thing. You know, like now you hump a stool and it's like
But it is the way that it's like society is like if a guy humps a stool, it's like, oh, that's what guys
classic.
do.
That's classic.
That's a classic. But if a woman humps a stool, they're like,
oh, that's gross.
What
about my children?
Yeah. Suddenly,
World War III.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying. I do think that there is more space for like talking about other things. I just hope that like you know, I do think that we still are very much under a patriarchal society, and I think people who are trying to like break out of like, oh, I'm gonna be super crass because I'm not trying to pinpoint female comedians or just in general. Like, I'm gonna say X, Y, and Z. It's still under the guise of like breaking out of that norm that was built like 30, 40 years ago, you know?
And right. I 100% get that. Like, I mean, I think a lot of women do want to break out of it, but like also it's kind of like, well, this is the way it's always been done.
Right.
You know, this person got success because of...
This is how I make my money, so...
Yeah,
right.
you know?
Like, there was a comic, a female comic who was pretty successful, and we were friends and stuff. I mean, we still are friends, but she doesn't do comedy anymore, and she was like, I know I benefited directly from the patriarchy, because if a headliner thinks I'm cute or thinks I'm funny, he'll take me on the road, and all I have to do is flirt a little bit, and I get what I want. And she's like, I don't like it. My boyfriend doesn't like it, but it's like, that's how I'm paying the bills, and I'm like... And I still can see that to this day. Still, like, that's still, like, the power and dynamics are in place. So it's, like, what kind of material affects, like, what, like, your business model, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It is frustrating.
What's your brand, sort of?
Yeah, it is frustrating because it's like, I know people want to break out of the mold and out of the stigma of, like, talking about certain things, but also you still want to be cool. You still want to be kind of in the proverbial boys club, whatever, you know, but it's hard to like let go of your own internalized misogyny and also let go of like, I mean, even if you don't have, even if you're aware of it, it's still just like, well, how am I going to make sure that I get up every night on a show? How am I going to, who's booking the shows that I want to be on? You know, it's all very like intentional. I might be rambling at this point, but I'm trying to make a point, you know, that it is like, you want to like step out of the box. Like there is starting to have some space for that, but it still feels like there's still like a glass ceiling there.
It
like,
does kind of feel that way.
You know, like, oh, I can say whatever I want, but as long as like this group of people still likes me, they'll book me. As long as I can get up on these shows, or as long as I'm still kind of a bitch to some of these people.
Precisely.
You know, you can't. The liberation is not fully there. Creative liberation is not there.
Exactly.
Know?
Yeah.
Because art and commerce still are meeting, and commerce is still kind of priority. Obviously, you want to make money, so I feel like there's still not the liberation that we think that we have, you know?
Right.
I want to tell ourselves that we have.
It's so hard for me to talk on what it's like being a woman because I've only ever been a woman, and it's hard for me to compare it to, like, I see what happens with men, and I kind of know.
Yeah.
But I think, and we've actually, I've talked about this before with, like, Rena Calm.
Oh, I love Rena.
I know, me
shout
too.
Shout out Rena.
Yeah, shout out Rena, dude. She's the shit. She's so amazing.
She is.
But I, you know, talking to her about the... you know, about like being a woman in comedy, one of the things she brought up that I think nobody talks about enough is like how being a woman, people automatically see you as like maternal.
Oh, I know.
So people like come to you with problems.
Always.
People come to you with questions, and it's like, while I don't always mind, like I love being there for people, and I love like my comedy community. They're my comedy family. You know, we're living in a little comedy world, and I'm a comedy girl.
Yeah. Isn't it fantastic? Life is plastic.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't mind them coming to me with advice and stuff, but it does feel like it's like, why aren't you asking somebody else?
100%.
Why aren't you asking? And I feel like men, not that it never happens for men, but men get less questions. Men get asked fewer questions because people are like, he's busy.
He's busy.
And it's like, bitch, I'm
an
busy.
Artist. Yeah. Like, he's working on his craft.
It's hard to set boundaries for
It
sure.
is.
People are always, you know, it's especially with I don't know. It sounds bad, but it's like, especially with men, dude. Especially with men. It's like they want.
It's always with men. Everyone I'm talking about has been a man. By the way, I'm not talking about any woman that is.
It's so hard. Yeah, it's so hard to talk about it without it becoming like a man bashing podcast. And I'm trying not to do that, but it's like, men really suck, dude.
Yeah, like I remember starting out in comedy. Like I was 22, 23. You know, just trying to like go to open mics. There weren't like a ton of women that were going out at the time either. It was like. There would be times I'd be the only girl on the sign-up sheet, which that's not like a badge of honor that I hold. It's like kind of concerning. It's like, why don't women feel comfortable coming to these mics and stuff? And then like slowly as I did it, I'm like, oh, I get why. Then you do your shows, you're booked on, maybe go to a mic every now and again, but don't deal with the bullshit. But like, was sexually harassed and assaulted early on in my career.
Oh,
like,
that's awful.
I mean, you know, I say the assault was light. You know, you know what I mean? Like,
you know, as light as assault can be.
Right, exactly.
Diet assault. It was a diet assault.
It was a diet assault. It was a diet. It was assault zero. You know what I mean?
Not like zero tolerance.
No,
but the other
like
zero.
Coke zero. Yeah. But like, yeah, that happened all. And like, I was brand new to comedy, and this comic was at the time still very well liked, and people like it was very much like played off as a joke, you know. But like, I was maybe a month into comedy, didn't know anyone, and I was the butt of the joke for the next few weeks at open mics. That had happened to me, you know what I mean? It's amazing I didn't quit. I say this out loud. I'm like, why didn't I? Well, I'm so mentally ill, and I didn't quit comedy.
Just because that wasn't that bad.
I'm here. It's cool, you know. But like, it just became a thing, and where it was very much like, oh, I was like kind of the villain of like, I was like, oh, why did you reject this guy? Like, he's weird. You know, he's just a weird guy. Like this. Well, I know this. Like, I looked it up. I know that's textbok assault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like, but it's rejection. It's like if you can't handle rejection and then they act out, and then it's like that's. I hate when people try to hurt other people like that. If I quit, then it's like the only person it hurts is me.
Right.
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, so that's what we kind of have to do. Like if you had quit, or you would have had to move, you know what I mean? Or perform somewhere else.
Right.
So it's like, you did what you had to do to keep going and then make your name for yourself. Yeah. And now you have it. So it's like, not that it could never happen again, but it's less likely as you climb,
right,
you know?
100%. And like, you know, like I didn't set out to be like, I'm going to be an example. I'm going to pave the way. It's like, I just wanted stage time, and I wanted time for myself, and I wanted to feel comfortable in my own spaces. And it's like, the advice I got early on was like, if you want to get booked in other cities, have a show that you run, because that's your currency with other comedians.
It is.
Get into festivals, say, hey, I run a show, I'm also a comedian. And that was like how I got into a lot of festivals early on, is like I was running shows, and those festival bookers wanted to come through Nashville, you know what I mean? So like, all those the reason I didn't set out to be like, I'm going to make a difference. It's like, I want to be funny and tell jokes, and it's a very beautiful byproduct. That
it's like a side effect.
You know, it's like a nice side effect of that, but it isn't like the end. It isn't like my main goal. Because I think if I were to make that my only goal, then it would be I think that could be a slippery slope too. You know what I mean? If I'm going to help these young people, because I've seen comics, in my opinion, a little creepy. How it's usually older guys who like try to take younger female comics under their wing.
Of course, those are the ones.
Always. It's like, why are you like 38 and you're taking like a 23-year-old under your wing?
Because we relate.
We're so relatable. Yeah, you know? And
She's got things I can relate to.
I know, 100%. Exactly. God, that's so true. But are we good?
We're done.
That is so
That's
good.
gorgeous. Are you kidding me?
Take a look.
That's so beautiful.
Snap some pictures.
Yes.